Y'all, we're making gingerbread cake. Come on. Welcome to Highfalutin Low Carb, the almost weekly web series where we find and test the best low carb recipes this crazy internet has to offer. Today, we're tackling low carb gingerbread cake. Stay tuned. All right, guys, low carb gingerbread cake. Can it be done? Today we're going to find out by testing two very popular recipes. The first of those is Keto Gingerbread Bundt cake, and this is by the website dietdoctor.com. And the second recipe is Keto Gingerbread cake, and this is by the website thehungryelephant.ca. So I'll be sure to leave all of these links down here below and in the video description below. Now before we begin though, I need to give a huge thank you to the sponsor of this video, Thrive Market. Thrive Market is an online marketplace on a mission to make healthy living easy and affordable for everybody. You can shop for their catalog of thousands of name brand products and sort that by the things that matter most to you. So whether that's us, it's going to be low carb or keto, it could be paleo, it could be gluten-free, non-GMO, BPA-free, whatever values matter most to you, you can sort their catalog and shop just that way. Now, like a lot of big box discount stores, there is a membership fee to join Thrive Market, but they make it give you a couple of options. I think for like around $10, you can try it out for 1 month and see if it's going to work for you. Or you can do like me and get the year plan, which gets the price down to less than $5 a month. And I know I'm going to at least save that. In fact, most Thrive Market shoppers save an average of $32 per order. So paying for the membership really pays for itself. But they also have a happiness guarantee. In the first 30 days, if it's not going to be for you, you can cancel anytime. And at the end of the year, if you haven't actually saved as much money as the membership costs, they'll refund you the difference. So right now, if you will go to the website down below, it's thrivemarket.com/highfalutin-low-carb. You'll get 25% off your first order and a free gift. I say it all the time, it's sponsorships like these that keep channels like mine on the air, and for that I am truly appreciative. I would not be able to do it without them. So guys, if you want to support me, go support them. Check out thrivemarket.com. You'll get 25% off your first order and a free gift. All right, let's go make some cakes. All right, guys, let's get started on our first recipe. Again, this is Keto Gingerbread Bundt cake, and this is by the website dietdoctor.com. Now, we've got things going here, and I need to go ahead and get butter melting. So we're going to melt some butter and put in our spices. And this is pumpkin pie spice, and it is quite a lot of it. So as soon as this gets a little bit of melt on it, we're just going to melt this down until it just becomes to a simmer, and then take it off the heat and let it cool. So I'm going to do that now and just speed it up so you don't have to wait on that. All right, so our spices and the butter are cooling off over there on the back counter. And now we're going to turn our attention to the wet ingredients. And this is pretty easy stuff. You've got eggs here, and we're going to add in a little bit of erythritol-based sweetener. And we're going to beat this up with a little bit of vanilla extract, not very much. Now, there's a lot of new faces here from our last video that was really popular about the new viral egg pastas. So I'm just going to repeat myself here. I don't share exact ingredients in these recipes because they aren't my recipes. I'm just here to test them. So please use the link down here on the screen. They'll be in the video description below and in the pinned comment below. Just click on those. The people that did create the recipes, they deserve the traffic. So that's the way we work here. All right, so we're going to cream this until light and fluffy. And so I'm going to do that and speed it up and be right back. Okay, so our eggs are light and fluffy, and now we're going to add in just a little bit of cream cheese to this and then combine this as well. Okay, so our liquid ingredients are combined, and now we're going to mix together our dry ingredients. They don't say to sift it, but they do say to make sure you don't have any clumps. And the best way I know to do that is to sift, y'all. Sift your flour. So this is almond flour, this is coconut flour, and we'll just sift them all together. And lastly, this is baking powder and a pinch of salt. Quite a lot of baking powder too, so we should get a nice rise with all those eggs and all that baking powder. So we're just going to sift it out. And you'll see why. You see all those lumps. All of that would just be in your cake. You hit a dry ball of powder. And I store my nut flours in the freezer to keep them fresher longer, and it tends to make them clump. And a lot of you have said, I can't get my sieve to, the almond flour won't go through it. I've got a fairly large, this is not what I would call a fine mesh sieve. There are sieves that are 2 layers that are really fine mesh. You not only get flour through that, especially almond flour. This is a single layer, and it almost looks like a window screen, right? There are holes that are, for a sieve, are kind of large. Okay, so now we're just going to combine all of our stuff, including our melted butter with our spices. Look how beautiful that is. Let me get this over here so you can see what's happening. So I'm going to add this in. It's cooled enough that it shouldn't be cooking the eggs. Make sure you get all of it out. And then mix in your dry. And I'm going to kind of try to be gentle so that I don't knock down all this beautiful whipped eggs that we've created here. Okay, so all this is combined. Now it says to let this rest for a few minutes before you fill it. So while that rests, I'm going to grease my Bundt pan, fill this up, and in the oven this goes for about, how long? 30 to 35 minutes at 350. So I'm going to do that, let that cool off while we get ready for our second recipe. So I'll meet you back here in just a few minutes. All right, guys, so our first recipe is still in the oven, about to come out, but we're going to get started on recipe number 2. And this is Keto Gingerbread Cake by the website thehungryelephant.ca. Now, it's going to start much like the other recipe, so I'm going to get our temperature going here, and we're going to melt this butter and then add our spices. And this is where reading the recipe first before you start really helps. You know, I always put out all of my ingredients here, and this is the spices, and I didn't read far enough ahead to know that we're going to use half of the spices in our dry mix and half of the spices in our oil. So I'm just going to, what this is here is, let me get some of this melt going. What this is here is ginger, ground ginger, and ground cinnamon. And I'll just note that the other recipe did not call for ginger, and it's gingerbread cake. So I only need half of this for my melted butter. So I'm just going to try to do my best to eyeball it and put half of our cinnamon and ginger here, and then we're going to save this for our dry ingredients. And then also this is allspice, nutmeg, and cloves ground. And again, I've already just mixed those together. I only need half of this because the other is going in our dry mixture. So just like the other time, I'm going to melt this down, whisk all this in, and you're going to want to keep it stirring so that you don't burn anything. So I'll do that now and speed it up so you don't have to watch. Okay, so our butter is melted and it's off heat, and now we turn our attention to the dry ingredients. So we're going to start with our main flour. This is almond flour. Again, if you want to know how much, use the link in the video description below. We're also going to add in some of our erythritol-based sweetener. For both of these recipes, I've used a monk fruit erythritol blend. We're also going to add in some baking powder, quite a bit of it. And now the remainder of our dried spices all go in, and we're just going to sift all this out. So let's do that now. So we've got our flours whisked, and we're just going to mix this up well. And then to this, we're going to add in the melted butter. Let's get all of this good stuff out of here. Make sure you get it all out. And also to this mixture, we're going to add in some sour cream. And this, I imagine, gives it a nice creamy consistency. So a little sour cream. And then we're going to whisk this loosely, she says. Okay, so it's kind of a thick batter here. Now we're going to add in the eggs. Obviously, this is 3 eggs. I think that was flour. 3 eggs here. And we're going to stir this until a loose batter forms. Make sure this is all mixed good. Other cake is almost ready. Okay, so our timer just went off for our other cake. I'm going to pull it out of the oven and check for doneness with a toothpick, and then this is ready to go. We're going to put this also in another well-greased Bundt pan. Goes in for 35 minutes, again at 350. So I'm going to bake both of these, let them cool just a bit, flip them out on their pans, and we will be right back here to test them, and I'll tell you what I think. All right? So I'll meet you back here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, we're back with cake. Lots and lots of cake. Okay, these turned out really beautiful. As you can see, I didn't have any trouble getting the first one out of the pan. It literally, I mean, that is a picture. That is could be a magazine photo, if I do say so myself. The second one, it stumbled a little bit, and half of you see it has a, I'm trying to show it to you, it has a break here. So I just assembled it back together, some cleverly arranged dusted erythritol or powdered erythritol or some icing drizzle would make that look better. So anyway, before we test these and find out what we think about them, let's talk about the nutrition of these things. So this is our very first cake, the one here on your left. This is the Keto Gingerbread Bundt cake, and this is by dietdoctor.com. Now this makes 12 servings. If you make 12 servings, one serving is 217 calories. You've got 18 grams of fat. You got 7 grams of protein. You got 5.6 total carbs, 2.5 grams of fiber, for a total of 3.1 grams of net carbs per slice. Okay, our second one here, this is the Keto Gingerbread cake by thehungryelephant.ca. Also makes 12 servings. If you make 12 servings, one serving is 221 calories, 20 grams of fat. You've got 6 grams of protein, 6.8 grams of total carbs, 3.1 grams of fiber, for a total of 3.7 grams of net carbs. So really 217 versus 220 calories, 3.1 net carbs versus 3.7. We're right. I mean, these are almost identical. So more importantly, what do they taste like? I hate to cut this. I've already taken a few photos of this one because it was so pretty. And I needed something for my thumbnail. So let's just come in here and I'm going to take a small slice. That is beautiful. Look at that. Oh, you can see the little cream cheese nibbins in there. You know, I probably should have maybe melted that, but I can't see why that would be a bad thing to hit some cream cheese in your gingerbread. It's not the color of what I would think gingerbread, you know, is. I don't know. So let's cut the other one and then we'll taste them both. This is the one that stumbled. It is a darker color for sure. And okay, yeah, that's pretty inside. It is a darker ginger brown bread kind of color. So this is the Hungry Elephant. This one is the Diet Doctor. I'm puzzled about the cream cheese. I guess I didn't do a very good job of mixing that, but I don't see how that can be bad. So here we go. First one. Does it taste like gingerbread? This is the one that didn't have any ginger in it, remember? So, sweet. Okay, it's good, it's moist. The little cream cheese nibs that I have somehow not thoroughly mixed in there don't interfere with anything. If anything, it probably makes it a little more moist. This, to be very honest, tastes like pumpkin bread. It uses pumpkin pie spice, no ginger, So it's very similar to a pumpkin muffin or a pumpkin bread, in my opinion. Even though it doesn't contain pumpkin, the spices are reminiscent of that. So I've already had a sip of water. Let's taste our second one. This is the hungryelephant.ca. It's very moist. This one's still a little bit warm. Okay, as you could tell, that one definitely got my taste buds excited. And there is definitely a spice level to this that is not present in this, the allspice. A lot of ginger. That was 2 tablespoons of ground ginger. This just has a much more pronounced flavor of what I know, at least here in America, as, although I believe she's from Canada, as gingerbread. This feels like gingerbread cake. It's moist, it's delicious. There's almost a spiciness to it. Not bad, but the perfect amount. All right, guys, these are both good. I'm not saying that the Diet Doctor is bad, but this feels like fall. This Hungry Elephant, this feels like the holidays. This feels like Christmas. This feels like what I wanted gingerbread cake to feel like. I really, really enjoy that. And the sour cream, I'm assuming, is what made that so moist. So, yep, there you have it, folks. Low-carb gingerbread cake. Can it be done? You better believe it. I would not use pumpkin pie spice, though. Take the time to use the allspice, the ginger, the other things that make gingerbread great. As I say it every time, these videos are a way for me to maintain my low-carb way of eating, and looking in the end of that camera as often as I can helps keep me honest. So I appreciate that you have come along for the journey. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you're not a subscriber. If you are a subscriber, be sure to check that bell button and make sure you are notified every time I release a video. I also want to invite you over to Facebook at Highfalutin Low Carb and Instagram at Highfalutin Low Carb. I talk a little more frequently and freely over there on those channels, so I can keep up with you on a daily basis, if not more often. And then lastly, I need to thank our sponsor again, Thrive Market. I often say it, sponsorships aren't why I do this, they're how I do this, and sponsorships like Thrive Market keep a channel on the air. And so be sure to support them. Go check out thrivemarket.com/Highfalutin Low Carb. You'll get 25% off your first order, and a free gift. And lastly, I need to thank my Patreon members. You'll start to see their names scroll here on the screen. These are my rock stars, truly. If you don't know what Patreon is, think of it as the tip jar for the internet. It allows people like you who enjoy what people like me do here on YouTube. You can give $1 or $2 a month just to sort of keep the train on the tracks, as it were. So without all of these people, the test kitchen here couldn't happen. So thank you so much to them. All right, guys, I'll see you very soon. I've got a huge month of December planned for you. So we're going to do a lot of cooking and a lot of testing. All right, I love you. I'll see you later.